Okay, I don't really do much on my YouTube channel at the moment. I tend to be helping a lot of people with their videos, but now I'm stuck at home, there's not really a lot going on, so I thought it might be time to sort out the veggie plot. This yesterday was this kind of high in weeds and crap. I hadn't done anything with it for a couple of years, but we thought get some veggies in, you know, end of the world and all that. So this all needs cultivating. It's been really left for a long time. Also, it seems all the local hire places are going to be shut. I'm not going to be able to just go out and hire a Rotavator. So I thought maybe we could have a go at building one, putting one together out of some stuff we've got lying around here. I know digging it over by hand would keep me fit, but I'm not really in the mood for digging over this whole plot. It'll take about a week, and it'd be fun to see if we could do it mechanically somehow. So let's see what we can do. Okay, so on the edge of the veggie plot left over from many years ago is the remains of a Woolsey Merry-tiller. I think it was probably made in the 1950s. And it's been a few years now since the actual engine part of it went bang. It spectacularly smashed the piston to pieces, and it was an unusual engine. Well, not unusual, it was an engine, I believe it was a Honda G200, but very popular with people who race go-karts. So getting parts for it, at least at the time, was tricky, because they seemed very expensive for what they were. I thought about maybe putting a cheap Chinese engine on it. I didn't, it's just sat here and rusted. So my plan is to try and find some kind of motive power device to bolt it to. It doesn't seem seized, it seems like it might be working. It was a good Rotavator when it worked. There seems to be a belt here, which I think was the original belt from it. And the belt's in good nick for something that's been sat outside for so long. So anyway, the plan, I think, is we'll look for something with a big engine on it, and we'll try and rig something up, and hopefully we can start working on this. I think it's a bit heavy to move, even without the concrete block attached to it, so yeah, maybe we'll have to bring the motorised thing here, see what we can find. Okay, sitting in another part of the garden is this thing, which is a bit of a monstrosity, but it's a hay cutter, and it's something that Max gave me ages ago. He used to use on his land before he got the ride-on mower, and it's been really useful here actually, because generally when I don't get around to cutting the grass and everything's this big and a lawnmower won't touch it, and it would take all day with a strimmer, you can rush around it with this and it makes short work of it. It's got a 9 horsepower engine on it, which is always fairly reliable. I think it should probably start fairly easily, because I was using it until quite late into last season. My plan is that the front part is detachable. I think the idea was that you could add different attachments and stuff to the front, which is exactly what we're going to try and bodge. I will remove the hay cutter section of it. It's a bit like a topper sort of thing. And if we can get it going, I'll drive it down into the veggie plot, and I think we'll just try and bolt the old Merry-tiller onto the front of it. Hopefully we can find a belt that fits if we don't have one, and that should be the makings of something that we might stand a chance of at least breaking up the surface of the soil down there a little bit. It's very clayey soil. It was always difficult even with a big Rotavator, so I think if we put enough weight on the front end, you know, it's got a proper gearbox, it's got driven wheels, oh, it's got a clutch, all kinds of stuff. It's like it's just like riding a motorbike. So yeah, who knows, it might work. We'll give it a go. Right, so I've every hope this will start. This isn't going to be one of those will she run videos, because this has been used up until fairly recently, and it was always fairly reliable, if I can remember how the fuel system works. So fuel on, choke on, I believe. I've filled it up with fuel. Yeah, I think we're good here. Just make sure it's in neutral, because it makes it very difficult to start. If not, I've removed the drive belts from the front section. We're going to be doing no mowing with this. No point having the extra load on it. Yeah, so I suppose we can just put the clutch in, might be sensible. The gearbox can be a bit sloppy. So, final check on fuel. Let's see what happens. Okay, well that wasn't actually too painful. We got the bits of kit together here, so I think we'll grab some tools and get on with it. Right, well I've moved a couple of things around. I've taken these belts already right off. I mean, this one is in very special condition. I think when I use the hay cutter again, I'll probably need to replace them. What I am going to do once I've removed the hay cutter is probably try and lug it back up to the workshop and actually do some maintenance on it, because it's pretty old and knackered. It could have some new bits welded on it, and there's a couple of broken bits that could do with sorting out. Right, so I think it's all held on with these two bolts, which are here's some ridiculous size. And there's a couple of other bits I've done. I mean, on these irons on here, these bits of angle, I've widened out some holes, made it so that I think it will actually fit on. But whether we end up, yeah, there's always something that's going to go wrong. So anyway, this isn't a how-to guide. This is more just you know, general interest. The chances of anybody out there actually ever bolting a Merry-tiller onto the front of one of these things is going to be very slim. So I'm just going to get on with it, get it dismantled. I might speed bits up just to ease the boredom. I don't know if you can see the bottom of the side. This is in quite a state. It's taken quite a battering, so I think maybe restoring that wouldn't be a bad thing anyway. Right, so I think if all this works as it should, we should be able to bolt that straight onto there, and we've got quite a bit of leeway here. Hopefully this belt bit was lying next to it will reach around one or other of these pulleys. I mean, that's the next thing to be seen. Again, this output here was never matched to the actual, this was never designed to use with this, so whether it just goes too fast, too slow, that's some experimenting we can do afterwards. So yes, we'll we'll see how that turns out. Seems to be getting invaded by chickens at the moment. Oi! Stop pecking the... Oi! No! Ugh. Right, well, it has fitted together. That's a start, at least. Now, quite whether the belt's going to fly off the first second we try it, or quite what it's going to do, I don't know. But I'll do a little bit more tinkering, make sure we've got fuel and stuff, and I think I also need to maybe trim all of this random baler twine and crap that's gathered up around the tines, and then maybe when I've had a little bit of a tinker, we'll come back to it and see how we got on. Okay, well, I've done a little bit more messing around. The belt that I had on it ended up being too long, kept flying off. I found a shorter belt. It's a bit more knackered, but it seems to be holding up. Made a few other tweaks. I've put the concrete block back on the nose for a bit of extra weight, which made a huge difference, along with a couple of lead diving weights, because, well, yeah, just for a bit of extra weight, stuck some lead on it. And it seems to be doing the job. I'm just going to go around this section, then pull some of the roots and things out, do it all again, and hopefully we'll be able to start planting in here fairly soon. Well, here we are then. I think that's been quite a successful afternoon. The Frankenvator has performed quite well. The belt did snap, so I managed to find a belt on an old circular saw, which is working on it now, which is nice. Needed a bit of adjusting, but it's actually working much nicer with that belt because I can have it on the different pulley, so the tines aren't spinning around so fast. What other problems did we have with it? The diving weights have now come a bit loose on the front, so they'll need tightening up again because they're flapping around a bit when you go over bumps. But that's all done there. We've done all down there. We've had two goes over the lot. The first go over, because it's clay soil, there's a lot of rhizomes, nettles and things. It's hard work. I'm not going to pretend it's not. You need that extra weight on the front. But the second go over, we were going sort of full depth of the tines. It was working quite nicely, not too much of a struggle, and certainly a lot easier than digging this over by hand would have been. So I think that's it. It's a success, really. I managed to use a full tank of petrol, but there you go. That's what these things are like. Next step is going to be to move the inner rabbit fence thing there, which will be where the salad vegetables go, because the rabbits just decimate them. There's rabbits, so many rabbits here. Going to sort of move that onto one of the rotavated bits. That'll be the salad bed, possibly there. We're going to evict the chickens, the small chicken coop from here, and put them back where they used to be. And then it means we can rotivate this area then to make an extra bed. So that'll be 4 really large beds we can use. And I suppose very importantly as well, the chicken wire around the entire perimeter needs sorting out, because the rabbits are still able to get in, and they're just a nightmare. It is possible to keep them out, you've just got to keep your eye on it. So anyway, that's it. I mean, I'm no Alan Titchmarsh, I don't know. I may do an update if this all turns out nice later in the year, or if we're still in lockdown in October, then maybe I don't know, we'll carve some pumpkins at Halloween or something. who knows how long this will go on for, but you know, it's lots of people being creative, it's something to do, we're all having a great laugh being indoors, and thanks for watching.